The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.
Okay, so we're going to have to get a new lead in. There's 0 people there at the moment because you've just been informed that we're now running live. And no more countdown clock. I've decided to scrap that. We'll do something extra because we just got a notice. I didn't even realise, but for some reason we've been using that clock in one form or another since 2018, I think, and it's never been a problem. But now Facebook have come up and said that apparently that clock might have been developed by someone in India a long time ago, and it's come up with a copyright infringement, which is interesting. I mean, they still let it run, but they said it was blocked in India, and sometimes it's blocked in other bits. So, which is kind of strange because, as I say, I forget where it came from. But anyway, it's not a drama. It's just annoying. So, me being me, and we're just basic. We just did. I've still even got the wrong T-shirt on. I'm OG again at the moment. That's what you get. And we're actually, in case you didn't know, my name is Don, and this is the MGR. And we have a bit of fun with the tracker, and Renaud is about to arrive, so that's all kind of fun. Jane's still up, but she won't be on Facebook. She's flat out with a Entrant update. I've had quite a few things to do today, but there's an update going out to all the managers and all the entrants as well, just covering off on a whole series of different subjects that we need to get organised and keep it all happening. So that's kind of cool. So she's about to send that out, and yeah, the big news is Renaud there. That's amazing because it's only the 27th, and it's early in the day for them there. It'll be daylight now. And in fact, I was nearly late, but it's so bright out here. It's crazy. It's a beautiful blue sky, sunny day, and it feels like it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's actually coming up to 6:30. And I thought, oh, cheap, it's Trekka. So anyway, here we are. There's a few people lining up, so we will get straight onto the tracker, and we'll have a look at what's going on. So you're into the tracker there, so I will go into my copy of the tracker here, and we'll start off. We'll do the numbers first, and we'll come back to Renaud because he's getting very close. He's still sailing. He must be just about to turn the corner. So that's kind of fun for him. He'll be quite happy about that. And Holiday Dan is bearing down on him, and so's Kerry, and so's Peeler, and so's Canadan down the back. So the fleet's still pretty close. But anyway, we'll get into that conversation when we get down to our 2 boys down the back here, father and son team, still on top of each other. 99 and 100, Popeye and John, all having fun, doing 3.8 knots, 90-mile day. So they're hooting a bit, still on the beam, which is good. And the wind's slowly picking up. So I got a message in fact, I was meant to make a post on that, which I didn't do, but I've got a message here from him, which I'll read when we wrap up at the end of this. But all's well. They've made it pretty much straight down to the doldrums. They are, where are we? They're below the equator now. So they really haven't been slowed up a lot at all. They're pretty much on about the same timeline as the fleet, the main body of the fleet that left, because they didn't get bogged down in that no wind zone for 2 or 3 days. So it's kept them on a similar trajectory and also a similar timeline, which is good for them. So that's kind of cool. There's the fleet track from all the rest of it, and let's just see what they're doing individually. I can't. I got to go right up again to get to them. They are still side by side. I might be able to do it here. Okay, Mike's doing 3.8, 90 miles. And can I get John? Yes, John's doing 3.6 and 89 miles. So they're enjoying the ride. They've probably got up to 10 knots of breeze right on the beam, which translates to about the right speed. Say 5 to 10 knots. They're doing 4 knots with the wind on the beam. Let's see if there's a current before we go into their weather stuff. Oh, they've got a bit of a current helping them as well, so that's a plus. So there we go. That's probably half knot, which is 12 miles a day. So that's better than having nothing. And if we put it back a day, it's getting a bit lighter, but it's still favourable. And if we look back out here, they need to be up in here, eh? And then they can hook onto that little one there. But anyway, doing pretty well. So we'll come back to the wind, give them 2 days ahead, and see what they're doing. So there's 1 day ahead, pretty much the same. And then 2 days ahead, there's 2 days staying the same. So they'll be doing that sort of 4 to 5 knots for the next 2 or 3 days. So that's enough for them. Okay, so we'll just zip back here now to the rest of the fleet. There's Gary. Gary is doing 3.7 on a 100 nautical mile a day. He just made the magic 100, which is cool. It's what you want to see. It gets a bit depressing when you're going a bit slower. Josh has nailed 122, so you're pulling away from Gary, that's for sure, doing 5 knots, and it's showing a nice solid trade wind there. Everyone should be about the same. Jasmine, 129 mile day, 5.2 knots. They've all been thinking, a week, 10 days, all that sort of stuff to get there, but they've all got their sights on the Marquesas at the moment, and they're all probably going to the same place. Maybe not. Who knows? Adam, 5.6, 135. Jeepers, we're getting faster as we go forward. Jacob put another post up last night, which I forget whether I shared it. I was going to get Jane to do that today, but I forgot to tell her. 136 miles and 5.6 knots. So he's moving. And did he pull away from Adam? 130. Yep, he pulled away another mile. He says he's found the handbrake. Oh, no, I must have shared it because I remember writing the post on it. He's found the handbrake. He's turned the handbrake off and he's going for it. And he is, because there's Ertan only doing 125 and Jacob sailing past him. Eric will be next. There's Popeye over there. He'll probably catch up to, not Popeye, Cap Coconut over there doing 5-1. So he's going to be the next one for you, Jacob. And Eric, 4.8, 118 mile day. Jeepers. Jacob's flying. Christian, 129. No one's keeping up with Jacob at the moment. 5.3. So that's pretty cool. But a good breeze nonetheless. Now the lead group. This is where the numbers usually go a bit bigger. Only 130 for Canadan and 5.7, but that's still pretty good. Good last 4-hour average, 5.7. Peeler, 5.2, 124. So dropping down a little bit. And Kerry, what's that from? Where did that drop up from? Get out of there. Yeah, cheapest. Rightio. Kerry doing 5.2, 127. He's consistently down on the other speed. So that's fine. And then Dan, 135 nautical miles, doing 5.7. And Renaud doing 4.6 and 121. Could be lighter winds, or he could have just slowed down a bit. We'll find out in a minute. I've gone smaller here. I should have probably had that up a bit bigger so you can. Hopefully everyone understood all that. There's the bits. Yeah, Renaud's getting very close. So anyway, we can see what's going on there. I'll do the weather first before we talk about that. So having said we'll go bigger, I've gone smaller. Oh, that's the weather there. Okay. I wasn't quite on the weather, but it doesn't matter because we're talking about weather now. So tail enders and mid fleet have got breeze. Lead fleet has got breeze, but a little bit less maybe. And there has been some holes up the front. So Renaud might have slowed up just a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. Everything's relative. But going on for a day, if we look at tomorrow, very much the same. Very much the same. But there's still a nice breeze there. Go to the 29th. It's filling in more solid. There's even some yellow turning up down here. So there may be some compression with the mid-fleet. If we go to day 3, yeah, it's definitely picked up a little bit. That's getting 15 to 20 knots through there, so they may get a little bit of a boost and their average speeds may increase. Anyway, plenty of breeze all the way through. Yeah, look at that. I turned the currents off, and that's what we got. Anyway, we're going to lose it in a minute. I don't want that. I want that one. We're going to go right in here to Hiva Oa and Tahaku Bay. It's where Renaud is going, and I'd say Daniel's going to the same place, and I reckon Kerry will be heading to the same place. Now, first of all, how far behind is uh, Daniel? Dan is 72 miles behind. That's not bad. 72 miles, say 5 knots, is 15 hours. It's just pretty much the same as the ETAs I was pushing last night. So 15 hours, Renault's going to get there, and Dan should be 15 hours behind, which would work out pretty right, I think. No, it might be in the dark. I forgot what the local time there is now. I'd have to work that out. I haven't calculated the local time for there, but it must be. That's interesting. I have no idea. If someone wants to work it out for me, tell me in the questions. But anyway, he's 15 hours behind, and I'm thinking now, because it's probably very early in the morning there now. 15 hours, you're going to turn up in the dark, which is a bit boring because he's got to keep the timeline going until he drops the pick for the last time. The last time means when they anchor, and then they're going to row ashore. But there's a few issues there as well, so that may not work out well for Dan. Even though he's got GPS and all the rest of it. It's a very crowded anchorage on this one. Nuka Hiva, that's got a lot more space and everything, but it's further away. So this is probably a good choice, but they're going to have some interesting stories from the anchorage. So let's have a look, and I'll try and explain it. It doesn't show his turn yet. He's still sailing, but he's really close. He's on his way in very shortly. Let's see how far I can go down on this. Try and give you a walk around the anchorage. Yep, he's still sailing, coming right out in the middle. So in terms of distance, if this was 1600, it's 13. It's now there, so half an hour's gone by. So that's only half a mile. So he would be making the final approach now. There's half a mile. He's already moved up to that realm. He's done a couple of miles, so he's on his way in right now as we speak. And this is he'd be up in here somewhere probably. Southeasterly breeze. This anchorage is renowned for being a rolly anchorage, and even in this shot here, you can see the grey there. That's the glistening of the sun on the water, but you can see the swells here coming into it. And can I go down one more? Yeah, I can. Okay, so you can see boats anchored in here. This is the outer anchorage. They don't want to be there. They want to come in and try and get somewhere in here, or even really close. And at the moment, the anchorage is free. But every now and then, there is a big boat that we know from Tahiti. What's the name of it? It's a passenger cruise ship as well as a container ship and support ship that goes all around the various islands. It's something or other 5. I forget the name of it now. Anyway, it's a pretty cool boat. Okay, you can book a berth on it and go to all the outer islands and so on. And while they're there, while you're on shore having a fun, they're unloading containers and other bits and pieces and so on. And so this bit down here where it says Atuna Port, that's the wharf for the ferry, right? And you can see what happens here. There's all these boats anchored there. So they notify everyone the day before on Channel 16. They put out regular calls to say the ferry's coming, you better move. Then all these boats in here have to get out. They have to go out here somewhere and hang out for a day until the ferries comes in and goes out. And it's a big ship, it's a full-on ship, like a small container ship with cruise ship accommodation on the last half of it. So that creates a bit more havoc. But the calmest place is right in here. You can anchor anywhere you want in there because it's only the big cruise resupply vessel that comes. Is it Aranui? Aranui 5 or something. They've got a couple of them, and I'm not sure how often they come in. Anyway, so it's a rolling anchorage. They've got customs there. It's a bit of a walk in town. It takes half an hour to go in there. I've never been there, but I know plenty of people that have been there. And it's a pretty nice place. Apparently, a lot of museums, a lot of bits and pieces. Blah blah blah. Not as much to do there as in Nuka Hiva, but that's further away. So this has become the natural spot. Okay, so we'll see him there shortly. It's not a big hoo-ha. It's a bit of a first guy in. Renaud, which is great, but it's not the end of a leg, so there's no trophy, there's no celebrations. The leg doesn't finish till Fiji. This is just the process. A lot of the things going on have to continue on, like the phone calls to Graham. They continue, even if they've been on shore for the last 3 days. They still have to stop, go back, ring up Graham and talk about what they're doing. So the weekly or once every 2 week call, satellite calls still happen, and you'll read about that in Graham's reports. So, but nonetheless, you'll be happy to get there. The other bad news is, I believe that the water isn't drinkable there. You have to buy bottled water or whatever, or get filtered by clean water. So it'll be a challenge for them. They may be able to. You can see these little boats here because they talk about you can actually tie stern to, or have like the bigger boats. They can put a stern anchor somewhere to position them a bit better. So let's wait and see. There could be some interesting stories because they're only little boats. These look like, I'm not sure what they are. It's hard to tell. You can certainly leave your tenders down there, but I'm not sure they may be able to do something. That they always have to be looking out for the ferry. Anyway, the water apparently might not be drinkable straight out of the tap, so that will be a logistics challenge. I heard Adam talking about hanging on to some of these water. You've got 100 litres left. So, because it'll be hard to resupply, and it will be. They have to do it all by dinghy, and they've got to find good water first and all that sort of stuff. So, bit of fun. Anyway, that's, I'd say, now Renaud is coming right into here, so he'll be happy to stop moving around and take a break. So, okay, I think that's all I can talk about here. So let's just zip out. Yeah, that's all I can really talk about. So I'll come back and say hello. Here I am there. Boom. Okay, I'm back. Get rid of that. Okay, so Adam still had water left. I know some of the others had caught a lot of water as well. Maybe Jasmine will do the big bath with the whole water again and throw it away, but if they're watching this, it might pay you to hang on to your water. And you can buy all your stuff there. They've got supermarkets, they've got dentists, they've got doctors, they've got everything there that you need. And I'm sure the prices will be really, really, really cheap. Not. Papeete in French Polynesia at the best of times is expensive. And then to get to these islands, it's got to come out again. It's like a big transshipment out of Papeete, and then they load the ship up there and then go out to the island. So that all adds a bit, so it won't be cheap. Anyway, they'll have some fun. What I was going to tell you, well, that's probably about it. There's not much happening at the moment, which is a good thing. I am. I think I might have mentioned that before. This is the handle here for I am. Good to go. Fantastic. Adrian. Hi, Don. Are there ever any storms on the route of the MGR? Oh, yeah, for sure. And in fact, listen to this. I might be able to pull it up here. This is what I said on the, hang on. I hope you're still there because I just turned to another page to read you a bit from the Entrant update. Because it's interesting you said that about the hang on, here it is. No, it's not that one. Where cheapest? Where is it? MGF. It's not there. Entrant update. Here it is. Got it. Okay, so I'll read you the first paragraph because it brings up a bit about that. This is the first paragraph of the Entrant update that goes out, and it covers various subjects. I'm assuming you're still seeing me there. Yes, you are. Okay, which will probably be interesting. We talk about the crisis management exercise we had. So I'll go through the subjects first because you might find this interesting. We had all the managers come together and we set up a set time and day. It was on the 19th. The 19th. They had to all be there waiting, and I sent out the scenario, and it was that the EPIRB went off, the Rescue Coordination Centre rang the manager. The manager answers questions, and then they have to send a copy of the safety sheet, data sheet, and so on. And we had about 5 did everything perfectly, and then some of them didn't do so well. They couldn't find their bits that they're supposed to live with 24 hours a day, but they eventually did, half an hour later, and sent that in. and some just simply didn't turn up. There was three that didn't turn up, 3 or 4 didn't turn up, because they're not monitoring the WhatsApp group. Even it's actually called what's it called? I forgot what it's called now. It's like a notice board. It's the MGR Entrance Notice Board. Yeah, MGR 2025 Entrance Notice Board. It's the official notice board that I'm regularly sending out notes and messages to the managers to pass to the entrants. It's one way we get them, because the entrants have got to contact their managers every day, effectively. And if they don't, we go for 2 days and they still haven't done it, then the managers contact us and we go into the first stage of what is a scheduled crisis management plan. So we all learnt a bit from that, which was good, and it's now given them some more things to do on what the process is there. New safety sheets, just reminding all the entrants about the safety call, the phone call to Graham, rather, not the safety call. Have a chat, put him up, and he works out his weekly report from that. Pictures and videos. When the entrants get into Marquesas, they need to send us all their pictures and videos, or send it to their manager first, because that's their first streaming point. When the managers get the file, the managers have to send all their photos and all their videos to us, and we get it into a master file, and we can use that to produce things and keep you involved with what's going on. There was the issue of the celestial navigation test. As of today, the entrants, just notifying the managers to notify the entrants that as of today, the 5 or 6 that still haven't passed their final test for navigation are specifically banned from speaking about anything to do with their navigation with any other entrant, manager, or anyone in assist, because you can imagine they could get on their Starlink and start trying to work out how to do it in the last few days, and they're supposed to have done it in this voyage. So they're banned from doing that. They have to now complete that test of 4 or 5 full fixes, and then send me photographs within 12 hours or so of getting it, 24 hours of arriving in the Marquesas, because if they can't do it, we don't want someone trying to teach them now. And if they can't do it, they may be out of the MGR, as I mentioned yesterday. Just a reminder about Tahiti crew and advance notice, because they now know what ports they're going into. I'm sure they've done all that. Duty free in Fiji. When you arrive in Fiji with your boat, do your customs clearance, immigration, everything, you get in amongst the paperwork. When it's done, they will give you what's called a rotation number that's allocated to your boat while you're in Fiji, and that way you can bring anything in you want that's in transit that goes straight onto your boat. You don't have to pay any duty and tax. You just got to make sure it's on the boat before you leave, because some entrants are sending stuff in. They want to do it now, but if they wait until they get their rotation number, they can get it duty free. Talking about accommodation and where to stay in Fiji, because there's a lot coming out, and what's available in Vuda. Vuda's really good. They've got accommodation there. There's a nice resort next door called what's it called? First Landing. It was where Captain Cook made the first landing. He set foot right there, right next to Vuda Marina. So they've got this big resort named after that. I think it was Captain Cook. No, oh, jeepers, I might be completely wrong there. No, it's got to do with the whole Fiji and the whole history of and their culture. Sorry, how the whole place evolved, and it was. Jeepers, I've got to be careful here. It's that long since this goes back to 2010, and I think this is where the first Mama or whatever it was set foot on the island to go ashore. So forget what I just said. Just remember the resort is called First Landing, and it's one of this thing they got there is like the shape of a foot. It's quite cool. So anyway, there's different spots, and we talk about helmets. Everyone's got to have a helmet and bunk lee cloths when they leave Fiji. So, and we're just stating there's no set standard for the helmet. It's just got to give head protection for rollovers and knockdowns, because when they leave Fiji, the next stop for the leg is in Cape Town, and so they will have ventured into the Southern Ocean, and that's what made me trigger your question there on Thingo. But now, just finally, just back to the last thing I was going to talk about. This lead in, I said, this is to the entrants and managers. Once again, it's great to see the passage from Panama to Marquesas is unfolding, and so far so good. The times are impressive, and the 580s are proving themselves once again to be true blue water voyages, even though There's a long way to go to Antigua. The stories are interesting and for sure, and we've been excited to see the favourable weather and not too many holes to slow them down. Long may it all last. We are witnessing, this is where I'm coming to answer the part of that question. We are witnessing something very special, a credit to the skippers and the supporters for the good, this is like team supporters, for the good planning and smart sailing. Having said that, let's not underestimate the risk each skipper faces every day. Sometimes it looks all too easy. That's the killer there. Sometimes it looks all too easy because we're all making it look easy. In other words, the entrants themselves are making it look easy because they're doing such a good job. But the reality is they are small boats sailed by brave and skilled sailors in what can be a very unforgiving environment, touch wood. So to come back now to where are we? To come back now to your question there, you said, are there any storms on the route? Absolutely, there's storms on the route. And it's interesting even asked because that's part of the deal. We're all making it look so easy. And this used to happen to me when I used to sail a lot to Antarctica. I used to go back and forwards to Antarctica on ships and yachts and planes and all that sort of stuff. I had 22 seasons in Antarctica as well as one over winter. And whenever I remember when we were sailing down, we had good boats, around the world boats and stuff. And Dick Smith, who was, knew very well, I think that's fair to call him a friend at the time and stuff. He always used to be involved with everyone that went down there. He'd support him in different ways. And there was all these dramas, especially with Dr. David Lewis. Boy, I'm going out sideways here. We'd always have dramas, but he always went down and did amazing things. But when I went down in the boats, usually we had no dramas because we did a lot of planning, preparation, execution. Get in the boat, go boom, straight down, straight back, straight down, straight back. And other people would see it and they'd realise it's possible. And so just as I'd seen David Lewis going down and back and forward sailing to Antarctica, which inspired me very much so to go and do it, we inspired others. But what's happening now is it's a very similar situation. The 580s are making it look easy, but you just have to remember all the time that anything can happen. And yes, they will get storms. Don't worry, it's coming. We were lucky across the Atlantic and the Transat as well. That was pretty straightforward. But others, the year before, they got hammered and then they got becalmed. So you've got to be ready for everything. So even the voyage from Papeete to Tonga is a bit renowned for the potential for some tough weather. Let's wait and see what happens. We're early in the season. Sometimes that usually happens when the trades are really well developed, later in the season. And then things go wrong and, with the weather, which can create some quite big seas, nasty seas, all that sort of stuff. So let's wait and see. They will get storms, touch wood, and they will all be cool. So that's a long question. Anyway, what tables are allowed for sight reduction? Okay, they can use anything they want. And in fact, I'd never seen it before, but the French are using a very interesting sight form, like the reduction form. But obviously they're using their almanac, and they can use air sight reduction tables, they can use marine sight reduction tables, they can use whatever they want. And the French sight form, because I used to use the Admiralty ones, HPO 1, the American ones, the 1024 or whatever. That's the form that you fill out to, tabulate your sight. Okay, and come up with a set of details that will allow you to plot it on your plotting sheet. But the French one is amazing, which I hadn't seen until this season. And it's got all your spots there to fill out all the thing, and it tells you exactly where to go for each one and what to look for. So it's like a constant cheat sheet, which is a good thing because you can do it. But it really lends itself to someone who has no idea what they're talking about, still being able to work out the sight. So in that sense, it's okay. It'll work, but it's up to the individual. We don't allow scientific calculators. I had another email from a chap today asking about, can they use a calculator? Just take a sight and press the numbers into a calculator and go boom. And of course we don't, because that's the same as a GPS sort of, because there's no brain power or no skill set. And if you get zapped by lightning, you're going to blow your calculator as well. The electromagnetic pulse is likely to fry every bit of electronics on the boat. So you can't use a calculator. You've got to use paper and pencil and fill out the forms and books and stuff, and then come up with the answers. So that's how that works. Oh, g'day, Pat. fantastic race to follow. Yeah, it's a bit of fun, eh? One design is a lot better than that silly Golden Globe race. Bloody hell. Although you got 3 sagas now, that's a bit of fun. Jeepers. You can have your own little match race there. So these boats need work to keep them going at speed. Yes and no. It's like the mid-range fleet, the mid-fleet. The only way I can describe it is they're not cruising, but they're not stressing. The boat sets that speed. Everything I'm seeing, no one's stressing out in the mid-fleet. The lead fleet, I think they're working harder, but I don't think they're working too hard either. And I say that in the sense that you look at the way Renaud sails, he'll tell you he doesn't stress the boat, and I believe him. He's just a very clever sailor, and he doesn't waste time. He keeps up with it like John Luke used to do. It's all about, if you think you need to do something, do it now. Don't wait half an hour. Don't do that. And then if you think you need to reduce, do it now, without pushing the boat. So I know what you're saying, Pat. But they little boats too can usually outperform bigger boats in their potential speed on the water. So the 580 is doing okay. Catetius Facirus. Wish I was there in 1580. Yeah, I agree. They're having a great trip on this one. So I wish I was there sometimes too. Jonathan, quite an odyssey, sure is. Jacques, g'day, Jacques. Renaud's at anchor. Oh, he's there already. Fantastic. At 1835. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Well, he'll be happy with that. So well done, and he can sit back and breathe a sigh of relief now, because that's when this leg, as you all know, if you've been following it, we all talked about this leg. It was a bit of an unknown entity because there's such a huge contrast depending on the weather. It could have been. See, that's 27. I'll have to count the days, I forget now, but 28 was last Tuesday. 28 was last Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5. So 28, it's 33 days, if I remember rightly. Is that right? Must be. 33 days for that trip is pretty good. It's about, with all the dits and dats, is about 4,400 miles. So the overall average is still pretty good. And a lot of cruising boats don't do that one that quick. But the weather's been pretty reasonable. So well done, Renaud. John Carrington, you're back. John, you've disappeared. What was that about? 33, 34. Not sure what that was about. Oh, it could have been that. I'm not sure. I hope it's still there on YouTube. Anyway, okay. Renaud has just dropped anchor. Oh, another one's there. He must have put a post up, maybe. Frida, anchor in Hunoa, Marquesas, fantastic. Yep, that's good to hear. I think I'm sure there's going to be a lot of boats there. It's a popular anchorage as well, and a lot of those boats will be following the 580. And if they're not, when they see Renaud come in, and they'll say, "What's that?" Because he should have, and I'm sure he has got flags flying and lee cloth on the side. And it's a little boat, and you only get it there. Oh, this is interesting. This is Ertan trying to bankroll us. We'll just say hello. He'll probably be video. Hang on a sec. Hello.
What are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just in the middle of a live. Hang on. Here's Ertan.
I see it.
Hey, you can see it. Okay. Well, this is an unscheduled call-in.
Well, I only called to say hello. Maybe you were feeling lonely.
No, we're just doing the question and answers. So what's happening with you at the moment?
Oh, nothing. I did my usual morning washing and showering and checking the boat. And everything is good, really. Another nice sunny day. I've got a full main with one reef and the ship out and doing a steady speed, really. We are not hurting the boat, gentle sailing.
Yeah, so what's the wind speed at the moment, the sea state?
Sea state...
give us a look. Give us a look.
Well, that's much better, actually.
Yeah, good idea.
You're right.
We forget this new... we always talk about it, but... Oh, that's pretty good.
It's sort of moderate-ish.
Yeah. Looks like 1.5 meters, 2 meters maybe.
Yeah. It's running with you, so even when the all 3 meter one comes or 4 meters, it doesn't really feel like it because she's taking you forward.
Yeah, yeah. And so, what's the temperature?
It is 28 to 30 all the time, really.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
It's a lovely, and the water temperature is lovely as well. So it's actually a pleasure to do showers every morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Really nice.
Hey, tell us about your broken hatch. Show us your hatch, where it broke and everything.
Yeah, I'll show you the broken hatch.
Yeah.
This is the hatch that I replaced in Flamenco Marina because I couldn't find the proper hatch, so I bought one of those hatches that sits on top of the ceilings.
Yeah.
And anyway, they are 90 strong. I landed on it, and on the second day, it broke in half, literally.
That's amazing.
So
Yeah.
So I screwed. I made holes and screwed a couple of metals on each side. So it is good. It is not flimsy. It just looks terribly flimsy, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And I have got this rope that I can use to shut it and open it. So it's always open, so I can go in and out easily.
Yeah.
But the door is not it's not a problem. It just looks not so pretty, but it does the job.
Yeah.
And other than that, I have no breakages on the boat. Really, everything is good.
Yeah, she's a good boat.
Treated very well.
Yeah, it's a good boat.
She has to take us around the world, and when we are in the Indian Ocean and Southern Ocean, if you treat her badly, I think you may pay for it when you're down there.
Yeah. So how's your food and water situation?
Well, I have got enough water to go to Tahiti. I don't need to replenish. I have got about at least 80 liters in front of me.
Yeah.
And so I don't really need any water at all.
Yeah, that's good because I heard the water's no good in Hiva. Apparently, it's not so good.
Yes, but you pay $25 and you get a 20 liters container, which will do you to go to Tahiti. So I don't think anybody should complain about buying water a million miles away from anywhere. It costs a lot of money to take things there,
Yeah, exactly. No, that's cool. Okay, so what's your biggest problem at the moment?
Literally, I have zero problem. I'm very happy, and I have a feeling. Thursday or Friday, I think I would like to arrive daytime. So if on Thursday I find that I'm going too fast, I will slow the boat so that I arrive during daylight hours of Friday.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll arrive on Thursday. I have to go the spinnakers up to get there on a Thursday, so which I don't really want to.
Yeah.
But the problem with the spinnakers is that when you put the spinnaker at the front, when you're running it day in, day out, that thing at the front flexes a bit, and I don't like it so much every time the wind hits it.
What do you mean thing flexes a bit? You mean the bowsprit?
Yeah.
Oh, gee, but that's never going to break. It's meant to give a bit. You just need to tighten up the bobstay.
Well, I have tightened it, but I still don't like it when it's sudden, because every time the wave comes, the wind empties it and fills it again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I never enjoy seeing that banging noise hours at a time. I mean, I don't mind it during daytime when I'm looking at it, but at night time, I take it down. And I've got my A7 and A5 in the front, which I used a lot. But because this morning, for my shower and all the jobs I do, I prefer to have the mainsail and the jib, so that I can do everything comfortably. And because the wind vane works really well with the mainsail and the jib.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it is safety first.
Yeah, exactly. How would you describe your sailing? Are you cruising or racing or cruising racing?
Well, I look at where everybody is, and it doesn't bother me that somebody comes and overtakes me, because you've got a long way to go, and I look after my boat, and she's got to take me another 20,000 miles. So I look at the long picture, not the short picture.
Yeah. That's cool. What are you looking forward to? What's the you're sort of hanging out to get there just to go and do something, or you're just thinking of Fiji?
Well, I'm thinking about Tahiti because I'm gonna get a new hatch and an electric pilot in Tahiti because I lost mine overboard a couple of weeks ago.
The electric pilot.
And I only worked. Yeah, my only working one.
How did it go over the side? How did you lose it over the side?
Yeah. Well, I was sleeping. I don't know. When I woke up, it was not there.
Jesus, you guys are crazy. Bloody hell.
Yeah, and it's just stupid of me, really. I normally secure
Yes.
it, obviously. It must have been a pretty big wave during the night while I was sleeping to take it away. It is my fault, and I, as you know, in Galapagos, I burnt the other one, so I only had one sim rod left. So anyway, it's not a problem really. At Tahiti, I will have a replacement.
Yeah.
So it's not an issue, and I really use the electric pilot for several things. One of them is if I'm going to go to the front of the boat to do things, I like to put the pilot on so that the boat doesn't turn into the wind. But now, because I don't have the pilot, I just let the sails down or make a minimum sail.
Yeah.
But it's not dangerous at the front. And the other thing is if I'm going to do something else in the cabin or in the cockpit and the boat is going all over the place, then I like to use the pilot for that. Other than that, it's not really used at all. And when I lost it, it wasn't being used. It was just stored. It was just being stored.
Yeah.
And it was my stupid fault, really. I mean, if it never happened to you, you don't think it's going to happen to you.
Yeah, that's right. Jeepers. Okay. So do you in this leg? It's only you didn't do the Transat now. You did it last year, but so you've been out for 4,000 miles or something. But are you starting to think about? Gee, it's a long way to Antigua, or it's a long way to Cape Town. Do you think about that very much?
Not really. I mean, I wake up in the morning. I say to myself, I had 544 miles to the island. I say, oh, this time tomorrow I'm going to have 420 miles. That's all I ever think of is today and tonight. When I get to tonight, I say, oh, it'll be nice to do another 60 miles tonight. But I don't really think any more than that. I know I've got 9 more longitudes to go because I look at my GPS once a day, no more than twice a day. And once a day I look at my longitude. And when it became 100, I was quite happy. Now it's 131 now, I think, or 130. So I count those rather than anything else. So I know that I've got to do this many more longitude before I get to my destination. It works well for me, and I don't chase a boat speed. I just chase what is comfortable for the boat.
Yeah. Okay. So
and that's why I do it.
Yeah. What's your local time there? What's your local time?
Well, I think my local time around between 10 and 11. Between 10 and 11.
10 and 11. Okay.
I haven't actually worked it out. 120 longitude is 7 hours 40 minutes. So it must be about 8.5 hours thereabouts.
Yeah. Okay. So what's for dinner tonight?
Well, I had cereal this morning, and I have got freeze-dried eggs and cheese. I think I might have later. I mean, I must say I don't look forward to the meal times anymore because, I eat those freeze-dried foods as a matter of necessity rather than a pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So all right. Well, that's all good to hear. What was your most scariest moment? What's the biggest memory from the trip so far, apart from losing your autopilot because you didn't tie it on?
Well, it was really annoying to lose that. It's sort of definitely. I certainly cursed myself for a few hours for my stupidity. And I don't think I had any scary moments really. I had, I think, one night where there were so many lightnings in around the islands. That was quite worrying because some years ago, the GGR, I had one landed literally a couple of meters away.
Yeah.
And it is not a very nice thing having, but this was not so bad. I guess it doesn't stop for 24. It becomes irritating.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you've just frozen. If you're still hearing this, Zoo just sent you a message. G'day, Ertan. We miss you. Enjoy the ride. Oh, you're back again.
Yeah, the schools, when we had the schools, they were never...
Nope, we're starting to lose you a bit.
You know, it was not one of these schools that lost hours. It's just an hour or so. It was done and dusted.
Yeah, I believe it.
So,
yeah. Okay, and how's everything down below? Is it getting a bit manky or a bit smelly, or is it salty, or is it dry, you know?
Oh, no. I wash my pillows every week.
Yeah, but you wash in salt water, don't you? You wash them in salt water.
I know, but I like salt water, and I like having a salt water shower. And I like having salt water clothes. It's lovely. I mean, we have Mediterranean blood, so it's normal for us having a salt water. It's lovely. Doesn't bother me at all. I even brush my teeth on a salt water.
Yeah. Okay, well that's fair enough. All right, that's all pretty good. Yeah. So how's your skin? Any rashes or anything? Saltwater rashes or saltwater soils or sores?
Oh, not at all. As I said, every morning I shower and put fresh clothes on, and I do look after myself. That really is half an hour every morning, an hour I spend taking care of myself, making sure that after I check the boat for anything loose, then I look after myself, and then I look after the boat again. You know, it's the only thing that I have been unsuccessful is fishing.
Oh well.
Yeah. I put lures out. I put now 4 different kind of lures, and either there are no fish or they don't like my lures.
Yeah, that'd be probably both. Anyway, that's cool. All right, we're nearly up to an hour here, so I'm going to one last question. What do you do for entertainment besides ring me?
Well, I mean, apart from calling my wife and my mother and my mother-in-law and my sons and few friends, do FaceTime with them. Then I look at the company accounts, the businesses, the orders, the end-of-year accounts, and do all sorts of work-related stuff.
Oh, that's enough. John Guswell will turn in his grave. Cheapers. God bless you, John Guswell.
And then I read all the newspapers. I download all the financial podcasts, which I sort of listen during the night when I'm sleeping, and they automatically download it. And you know, there's a lot of entertainment. I spend a lot of time doing sort of things you would do at home, like you do at home.
Yeah, crazy, eh? All right, well, get back into the adventure.
I would like from you.
Sorry?
Yeah, I would like something from you, if I may.
Yes.
On my masthead light, it's only the red showing, and I think I need a new unit.
A new one? Yeah, okay.
Yes. Where does one get it?
That's an Italian one. It's a special one. It's super light. I might be able to get one before we leave here. I leave here in a week or so. I'll see if I can get one.
Would you mind?
Yeah.
Would you mind trying?
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
Yeah. That will be wonderful. I've been meaning to ask you, but I don't really ask anything because you work like 18 hours a day, you know?
That's fine. No, it's okay. All right, bugger off. We're nearly up to an hour. We've got 20 seconds left, and everyone will get pissed off. So thanks for the call. We should do that more often with others as well. I'll send a message out. It works okay. Very sophisticated we are. You know, we're just like the Vendée Globe. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you take care.
Yep, you too. I'm sure everyone watching or listening is saying the same thing to you, Ertan. Thanks for calling. Okay.
Bye, Don.
See you later. Yep, bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye, Don.
Okay. That was a bit of fun. Ertan's very much a communicator, and as you know, the short story, if you don't know, he entered the 2018 Golden Globe and lasted a week, and then the prospect of not being able to talk to the family was just too much, so he retired. And then he entered the 22 GGR, the Golden Globe, and got as far as Cape Town, and everything with the boat was okay. He could have carried on, but he said, "Look, I think that's answered the question. I'm really not into solo non-stop around the world because I miss the family." And of course, now he's got Starlink on the 580 on Trekka. It's just unbelievable. So he's just going to go forever. Anyway, touch wood. Okay, so a bit of a distraction, but that was a bit of fun. I think, got to see where we are. How do we get? I'm just going back here to see. Okay, is there Roy Cook, Captain Cook, Durban? I've missed something. I don't see Graham's videos. Thanks, Don. I'm not sure. Graham hadn't sent any videos, so I'm not sure about that. G'day, Christine. And Pat, go Ertan. Yep, Jeepers. Yep, not sure what that Jeepers was. Good Ertan. Joy, that's from Arzu, his wife and manager. The whole lot. Captain, well, there's no winner. That's not quite right. He's in the lead. Renaud, I've got one here from the CA Pushane. Winner, have a Swiss boat covered it. No, there's no winner. We don't celebrate the winner. He is leading the fleet. It's a pit stop. Okay, not to say he's not going to win, but yeah, this is a pit stop. They're still racing. The tracker keeps going. They've still got all the obligations, but they get a chance to resupply, rest, and so on. But it's not a, it's the next stage. So he's leading at the moment. He's not actually the winner yet. So, and the good news is all the entrants are laughing because the more legs that he wins, the more trophies he carries, which weighs the boat down because he's carrying them around the world. So anyway, yeah, thanks, Roy. That was a good call from Ertan. That was so interesting. Good. Okay, so I think we're done. Oh no, there's another one there. Just caught the end of it. Well, you can watch the replay. That's always the best part. So good on you, Warren, and we'll see you. We'll see you all again tomorrow. It's Monday, beginning of the week. Oh, I've got to go back to work. So thanks a lot, everybody. I will hit the same entry as we had going out, and it's not showing. Why is it?
History in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.